Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and I am knitting, not right now, but most of the time. Today's video is going to be a little different because I'm starting right off the bat with a voiceover, but today's video is a quick tutorial of how to make a yarn cozy on your circular sock machine. This is about a 20-minute project, give or take. Gauge doesn't really matter, so it's a great project for beginners. For my yarn cozy today, I'm going to be cranking with a one-of-a-kind batch from Tidal and Current Fibers. This is yarn hand-dyed by my friend Aslan in Astoria, Oregon, and I'm really excited to get this cranked up. When you're making a yarn cozy, or really anything on your circular sock machine, it's important to have your yarn ready to work in the correct way. So for me, it's easiest to work with my yarn when it's in cone form, and that's what is recommended from Dean & Beans, which is the company I bought my machine from. So here you see I'm using the cone winding attachment on my power drill. This is my power drill designated for crafting, so I am getting this from cake form to cone form, and it's a quick process. Not too painful at all, and now I'm ready to crank it up. So heading over to my cranking station, I am going to first start by lubing up the machine and then putting on my setup bonnet. I'm using a 72 needle circular, which is the largest, or excuse me, cylinder. 72 needle cylinder, which is the largest cylinder I have, and it's going to make the widest circumference of a yarn cozy. So that's why I'm going with this one. So just like when I would crank socks, I'm starting with a hung hem or a double knit cuff. So I've cranked 30 rows and now I am hanging each stitch around the perimeter of the cylinder, and then I will knit one round around to join them together. So what that does is essentially folds the cuff in half to make a double knit or hung hem. Now I'm putting my weights back in, and for this cozy, I decided I wanted it to be a little longer, so I think I'm going to crank 50 rows. Now it's time for me to work what would normally be either the heel or the toe if I were cranking a sock. Because I don't want the full depth of a normal heel or toe, I'm just doing a half heel. So I'm only working half of the needles that I normally would if I were cranking the heel or a toe of a sock. Once I've done that, I join my waste yarn and I add a few light bulb stitch markers to mark the first and last stitches of each row, and I'm ready to cast off. So now you can see I'm removing the setup bonnet from the cranked cozy I've just made, and I'll show you here in slow motion. You can see that the heel is not as deep, but it's still there. It's definitely there, and this cranks up very beautifully. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to Kitchener stitch the bottom of your cozy closed. This is the same process that you would use if you were cranking a sock. So if you've been familiar with that, I've seen it called the chimney Kitchener. I'm not sure what it's officially called other than just the Kitchener stitch. So yeah, it's just what you're going to do. It's how you do it. So I am sewing the bottom closed now. Again, this does not take that much time. From start to finish, this was about 20 minutes of investment. Not that much time at all. I will say a pair of socks, now that I know what I'm doing, takes me about 45 minutes to crank and then maybe another 15 to sew the toes closed. So about an hour for a pair of socks versus 20 to 30 minutes for a yarn cozy. So just put that in perspective and keep that in mind as you are preparing to craft. All right, now that I have it sewn closed, I'll show you what this looks like when you put it over a cake of yarn. You're gonna slide it on, and depending on how tight your gauge is, it may be a very snug fit and be kind of difficult to get it around your cake. Don't give up, it should stretch just fine, and it will not be any worse for the wear. So get that on your cake, and what this is going to do is it's going to function as a compression sleeve, sort of. So it's going to keep your cake in one piece. This means that as you are using the yarn from the cake, and I recommend a center pole when using a yarn cozy, but as you're using the yarn and the cake kind of implodes on itself, the cozy is going to keep it organized and get rid of that risk of chaos that many of us are familiar with as you get to the end of your yarn. And there you have it. There's an example of a quick 20-minute project you can make on your circular sock machine where gauge does not really matter at all. So have fun with it. You can customize it. It's a great way to use up scraps, as you can see I've done here. They don't have to match. You can experiment with the number of rows you knit, how deep of a heel you knit, or crank, I should say, in order to fit onto your yarn cakes. So depending on your gauge, they may be tighter or looser, and that's fine. It's still going to act as a compression sock or cozy for your yarn cake. This is going to help you keep this mess free as you're knitting your cakes into your projects. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you have fun with this idea and you go crank some quick yarn cozies. So that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already to be notified of my next upload. Hit that notification bell. And last but not least, head over to Instagram and follow me at Rachel is Knitting if you don't already. All right, see you next time. Bye.